say we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of every Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Famous Fun.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. All right. So first off, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. And also, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Let's see who's in here. All right. Juju, Courtney J, Vince I Am from the UK. Above all of that drama. All right. Let's get this party started. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. 6'3" soldier is in the house. All right. So RG Titan, Buckhorse DC, Deronda. Okay. Let's get into it. Nessie X, Lillian, April, Claudette, RG Titan. Did I say you already? DSB is here. Alice Childs is in the house. All right. Nefarious Buckhorse DC, Political Wins. Okay. So let's get that started. All right, Queen Amoni Hewitt, I see you, beloved. Ha! Juju said low down dirty scoundrels know what to do. Exactly. Okay, so with that all being said, DSB just gifted some more channel memberships, okay? DSB gifted 5 channel memberships. So shout out to you, beloved, and thank you for all that you do. All right, so y'all take advantage of those memberships. Now, let's get into it. Most hated bronze flat power God is here. Okay, Dragon Lily. All right, so that all been said. It appears that there is a leak or a mole, whatever you want to call it, in Kibami's camp. And so let's talk about that first. Now, this came out early this morning. This came out early this morning, about 3 hours ago. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. And also for FYI, I'm not going live on the backup channel today because I have somewhere to be. Okay, so please pay attention. All right, so I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this report. And then we're going to talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to get those likes up. Doesn't cost you anything. All right, here we go. And also for those of you who are my loyal royals who've been here since day one, you already know that every year in August, I do something to commemorate Black August, okay? The revolutionaries, the political prisoners, and those who lost their lives at the hands of police, as well as correction officers in prison, okay? So we're going to have that later on in the broadcast. All right, likes up. Let me get my overlay. Here we go.
Peter Ducey joins us now.
Hey, watch it. Good morning. And we're seeing now what happens when a candidate, in this case, Kamala Harris, is not surrounded by a team of longtime loyalists. And that is leaks start to come out. This is something we almost never saw from candidate Biden or President Biden. But now there's an Axios item with the title, Inside the Tension in the Harris Frankenstein Team. And the problem appears to be that Obama-era operatives have been jammed into an office in Wilmington full of Biden people, and nobody knows who is really doing what. The story says, quote, the entanglement of these different entities has led to many people feeling a real lack of role clarity. And the source is one person involved in the campaign. One of the first Harris hires was Eric Holder, the Obama-era attorney general, who wound up vetting running mates, and his good buddy Mark Elias, the lawyer, who got squeezed out of Wilmington by the Biden team last year, is back to help the team get ready for legal challenges in November. But until January, Joe Biden is still the president, and we just heard a few minutes ago he's got some big trips still coming up, including Peru and Brazil.
It is likely that both President Biden and President Xi will be at APEC and the G20 later this year. I don't have any announcements to make on either President Biden's travel or a potential meeting, but the likelihood is they'll both be there. And if they are, it would only be natural for them to have the chance to sit down with one another.
We saw President Biden on the beach in Delaware for hours yesterday. there is very, very little going on here. And a very well-placed source who works inside told me that the general feeling among staff right now is one of senioritis. Back to you.
Senioritis, that's good. So, Peter, the story from Axios about Frankenstein, the Frankenstein team, because part of it is the Harris people, part of it is the Wilmington Joe campaign, part of it's the White House people, and then you got the Obama people coming in. They don't know who's in charge. But just the fact that apparently Axios spoke to 6 people on the inside, this is new because this means they are leaking, which the Biden team never did.
No, and President Biden was surrounded by people who have been with him for decades and decades. Vice President Harris doesn't have that except for her husband and her sister and her brother-in-law. As far as we know, she doesn't have a small, tight-knit circle of political advisors who have been with her the whole time, from Horizon, California to Washington to now the executive office building. And it was very frustrating in 2019 and 2020 trying to get anything out of these Biden people because he treats a lot of his close staff like they are family.
Right.
He had 2 staffers living with him during COVID. It was just him and Jill and 2 staffers. And so you're never going to get anything out of those people. And if you go back and look, no leaks like this about the Biden campaign until the bitter end.
Only a laptop, but it's not real. So too bad.
Hey, Peter, real quick. So Joe was on the beach for hours. How many times did he apply sunscreen? Do we know? You got a pool report, right?
I don't know about the sunscreen, but we'll figure out if he's using the spray or if he's just putting it directly on, and we'll have that for you later.
Okay, they are so ridiculous and beyond nefarious, all right? So are they trying to say that, in fact, none of these people surrounding Kabami are, in fact, loyal to her as they were to Obama and Biden? I find this all very interesting. So DSB said this whole election is a joke. Of course it is. It's a whole sideshow. It's a circus, okay? It is absolutely ridiculous. Mr. Elevation says, of course, Biden has more people. He needs medical attention. Vince I am from the UK said, who cares about applying sunscreen lotions that contain melanin? I have questions. Yeah, I've always had questions about that because where in the hell do they get the melanin that they put in that sunscreen? I have several questions myself, beloved. Okay. This is all crazy. At the end of the day, let's just keep one thing in mind. Let's keep it in mind that Harris wasn't elected. She was selected, okay, to take over after Biden. All right? So that all being said, some of these people probably don't even like her. And why do they have to call them the Frankenstein team? Like a bunch of misfits they just threw together. All so crazy. But speaking of her, above all the drama said, Queen, my auntie loves your outfit. Tell your auntie I said, thank you, beloved. Okay, and so that all being said, this is all nefarious. But listen, if you think that's bad, wait till you hear this. Because remember when I reported to you about those darn Venezuelan gangs that had taken over that complex, how they were harassing the black folk and all of that? Well, there's another report that has come out. So let's get into it. And I'm pointing my fingers at Kabami and Biden. Okay? They're out of pocket. They're out of pocket. So let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I lost my receipt. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Now, you have to know this is nefarious when TMZ is reporting on it, because TMZ loves to report on celebrity gossip. But even they're reporting on this foolishness. Okay, so here's what they're saying. Now, this is from the New York Post. Official in Denver suburb where the Tren de Aragua is wreaking havoc calls out Sanctuary City for rolling out welcome mat. So an official in the Denver suburb of Aurora is fed up with leaders in her state for allowing sanctuary policies that rolled out the proverbial welcome mat to these Venezuelan prison gangs, okay, and the violent crime that has been unleashed in their community. Now, City Council member Danielle Jurinsky has served as a leading voice against providing incentives to migrants in Aurora, especially after the council passed a resolution in February saying it will refuse to offer aid for migrants from neighboring cities. However, Aurora's bigger neighbor next door, which is Denver, is a sanctuary city, which has continued to attract more migrants, and many of them from Venezuela. Now, this main gang that they keep talking about is spelling a whole lot of trouble. They say to our governor and to the mayor of Denver, I refuse to be silenced. I refuse to play the game of politics with you regarding this migrant crisis. This is what she says. And I will continue to speak up and speak out and help as many people as I can. Neither the governor nor the mayor's offices immediately responded to the post request for comments. Now, they say the city councilwoman also pointed the finger at the Biden-Harris administration, saying the people of Aurora are suffering at their hands. And I want you all to pay attention because the main people suffering are the people who look like me, okay? So they say these gangs have set up shop in Aurora, which has a population of 390,000 and is situated directly east of the Mile High City, seizing control of multiple apartment buildings and carrying out violent robberies, shootings, and assaults, according to authorities. One person says, or actually Jurinsky says, I worry about everything that I know regarding this gang, and I worry about everything that I don't know. Now, the Post recently identified its shot caller from the region, Hanardi Jose Pocasio Chirino, who is known as Galleta, which means cookie in Spanish. Now, it goes on to say, while in Aurora, this specific person, alongside fellow gangsters, brutally beat a man at an apartment complex that is allegedly run by the group. Now, he was arrested and then let go on bail. He was caught again in July for a shooting at the same complex where 2 men were wounded. So I'm talking about they're just running amok. Now, it says the gang, it's a prison gang hailing from a region of Venezuela and has been sending its members across the U.S.-Mexican border for years, while also recruiting at the same time within the U.S. among migrant communities, mainly in New York, Denver, and Chicago. And here's one of the thugs right here. Let me just put him up on the screen. This is all real crazy. And they said they blame Biden and Harris, and absolutely I do too. Okay, that's who's to blame for it. But there's more nefarious news on them that I'll get to in a moment. Okay, now look at him. That's one of them right there. Okay, and this is Gianfranco Torres Roman. He was arrested and released in Chicago before making his way to Denver, where he allegedly helped carry out a violent robbery. A whole thug. All right, a whole thug. I want you to pay attention. And they got mad when Trump said some of these people are nice people, but some of them are rapists and killers. Now, Homeland Security sources have confirmed that the gang is tied to several violent crimes in sanctuary states, which include the killing of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley earlier this year. Remember that? Okay. Then in New York City, the gang has been tied to the shooting of 2 NYPD cops in June. Now, they're killing the police. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, if this were black folk acting like these fools and thugs, they would be in an all-out uproar. This would be blasted and plastered all over the news, the lamestream. Where is the outrage for this? But let me continue. So they killed 2 NYPD cops in June, and is said to be smuggling guns into local migrant shelters. In Denver, one of the members, Jean Torres Roman, the one that I just showed you, who's 21 years old, allegedly carried out a violent caught-on-camera robbery of a Denver jewelry store on June the 25th. Torres Roman who was released from custody in Chicago a month before, after he was caught trying to stash a stolen gun, fled to El Paso, Texas after the burglary and was caught at a local motel. And so the gang's leadership also recently gave a green light for its members to shoot and attack cops across the U.S. But they want to be murking black folk, the police that is, at traffic stops. I want y'all to pay attention. These people are running amok. What do y'all have to say about all of this? What do you all have to say about all of this? I find it all nefarious, okay? I find it all nefarious. But at the end of the day, the police have so much smoke for black folk. Wow, really? I'm talking about, this is real crazy. Hold on. Hold on, beloved. Now, here is what TMZ had to say about all of it. TMZ reported that Venezuelan gang in Colorado armed takeover at apartment complex. Scary scene over in Colorado where folks claim members of a brutal Venezuelan gang are taking over entire apartment complexes. And footage shows the men are heavily armed. I'll show you the pictures in a second. New video from an apartment complex in Aurora shows 6 men wandering the halls, climbing a staircase, and banging on a unit's front door, and 5 of the men are packing heat. One of the men is openly carrying what appears to be an assault rifle. Okay, there have been lots of reports of issues recently with the Venezuelan gang, and specifically in Denver and now Aurora. Once it was a quiet suburb until they showed up. Now, Aurora City Council member Danny Jurinsky claims a gang has taken over several complexes in the town. Now, the video is going viral on social media, and it seems to have popped up on the Denver Police Department's radar because cops put out a statement Wednesday saying the force takes the presence of the gang seriously. I guess they do when they're killing police. All right. This is all crazy. Now, Denver PD said that there are reasons to believe gang members are tied to crimes in the area, but they say they are not aware of any apartment buildings being taken over by this gang in Denver, though the video technically is out of Aurora. Well, that's exactly what it looks like they're doing as far as I'm concerned. That's exactly what it looks like. Now, I'm going to show you. Hold on here. I'm not going to show this video because TMZ is known for striking channels, but I'm going to show you some of the still shots of these thugs. I mean, they're out here carrying these big guns too. Please pay attention. This is all crazy. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Y'all see that? That's one of the thugs right there. And they're doing this in broad daylight. Look at them. Out there knocking on somebody's door, packing heat. So anyway, I have a whole lot of questions. Yeah, they're armed, not just little pistols, says Annabelle. Yes, they are armed, honey. And my thing is, Kamala, what did she say about all this? Let's go to what she said about it, because remember, now they got mad because Trump said some of these people are criminals and rapists and murders and all of that, and some of them really are. Okay, we've seen the reports. But here is what Kabami had to say. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let me go to the footage, because this is all just real crazy.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal, and we have to correct course in this conversation. Una persona sin papeles no es criminal. Sí se puede.
Now, she sat there and said that they're not criminals. I want you all to pay attention. All I have to say to that is, ella es un perro mentiroso. Okay? Since she wants to speak Spanish, all right? Sit down somewhere, come in with your lying self. And by the way, for those of you who don't speak Spanish, I said she's a lying dog, because that's what she is, as far as I'm concerned. She needs to have several seats. All right? But this is her and Biden's fault. But they want us to think that they're going to build a wall all of a sudden. That's what she's talking about now. Kabami, please. All right. But if you thought that was something, listen to this. Because this is also Kabami and Biden's fault. Now, the EPA can't use Civil Rights Act to fight environmental injustice in Louisiana. This is what a judge has ruled. And why is this important? Because down there in Louisiana, they're allowing Black folk to be poisoned. Now, for those of you who've been following me since 2020, you know that I have reported a couple of times on the place in Louisiana known as Cancer Alley, where they're allowed to drop all of these chemical waste and, hazardous waste and all of this stuff. And a lot of Black people, it's highly populated by Black people, and a lot of them have all these different types of cancers due to this. So a federal judge has weakened the Biden administration's effort to use a historic civil rights law to fight industrial pollution alleged to have taken a heavier toll on minority communities in Louisiana. It says U.S. District Judge James David Kane of Lake Charles handed down the ruling on Thursday, permanently blocking the Environmental Protection Agency from imposing what are known as disparate impact. These are requirements on the state. Now, Kane had already issued a temporary blocking order in January. His ruling was a victory for Louisiana officials who challenged the EPA policy, which was based on possible violations of Title VI of the Federal Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now, the act forbids anyone who receives federal funds from discriminating based on race or national origin. It's been used in housing and transportation, but rarely on environmental matters. Okay, the EPA under President Joe Biden, however, tried to use it more aggressively. Now, with that all being said, the state sued in May of 2023, a move that may have played a role in the EPA dropping an investigation into whether Louisiana officials put Black residents living in an industrial stretch of the state at increased risk of cancer. The area often referred to as Cancer Alley because of the amount of suspected cancer-causing pollution emitted there, stretches along the Mississippi River from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. This is all so terrible. Now, here's what they say. Biden promised to clean up heavily polluted communities. And here is what advocates say that he actually did. He said he was going to clean it all up, but here's what they say. Now, they say, after World War II, Black people in Houston found the rare chance to buy a nice home in the new community of Pleasantville, Texas. But in the years that followed, officials routed the Interstate 610 loop with its tailpipe exhaust along the one side of Pleasantville, and cement plants and other heavy industry grew nearby. Just days after taking office in 2021, the Biden administration made huge promises to heavily polluted Black, Latino, Indigenous, and lower income areas like this, known as environmental justice communities. To evaluate how well Biden and his departments delivered on these promises, the Associated Press spoke to some 30 environmental justice groups around the country, people who have been trying for years and sometimes even decades to get places near their homes cleaned up. Superfund sites, petrochemical plants, and diesel burning ports, for example. Now, many said that this administration has done more than the previous ones, but with ambition not seen before. But they say there is still such a problem. One person said once he was in office, Beverly Wright says, once he was in office, there was not much done. And I almost gasped when I saw the amount of money. So this is also crazy as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now the local advocates interviewed have concerns. Some say that Biden's administration policies have been too weak to drastically reduce pollution and change their lives. Officials have even favored climate technologies that make conditions worse, they say. Now, those advances could be reversed if the presidential election November the 5th brings in a Republican administration. Presidential nominee, former President Donald Trump, considers much of the regulation these groups favor to be overreach. Now, they say Pleasantville near Houston's petrochemical heartland got a piece of Biden's funds. Bridget Murray, founder of the group Achieving Community Task, successfully says that residents wanted what many environmental justice groups want: data about what is in the air. Now a federal grant will help them do air testing, she says, and they can show those results to regulators. Okay, so one lady said that she feels like Biden did an okay job, pretty much. She says, hold on. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on, I could have sworn somebody said at least something positive about it. Maybe I was wrong. Hold on. With ambition not seen before. Okay, federal officials have solicited their advice, written stricter environmental protections, and committed tens of billions of dollars in funding. Now, one person says once he was in office, he put his money where his mouth was. Okay, and she directs the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice and sits on the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council. Okay, so maybe that's why she said it. She literally sits on the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council. Well, of course, she's going to say Biden did something. Of course, she's going to say he put his money where his mouth is. But the activists had something else to say. They said the policies were too weak, okay, to drastically reduce pollution and change their lives. So I'm sorry. Looks like they're not doing much. Okay, looks like they're not doing much. Annabelle said kissing that A. Exactly what it sounds like. All right. And that lady is, I think I said the wrong person before. This lady is actually Beverly Wright, who says this. So she's sitting here caping for Biden. But these other people are complaining. And once again, they're allowing all of these chemicals to be dumped in Black neighborhoods. And also, if you don't know, or if you missed it, because I could have sworn I talked about this 3 years ago, that when they have these dairy farms that are near these nuclear power plants where there's a lot of, possible radiation and things like that can affect the cattle and the animals and stuff or whatever, and the dairy products. Well, those items, according to, I can't remember the woman's name, but it was a white woman that came out years ago and said that they sell that stuff in Black neighborhoods, okay? Said that they sell those items in Black neighborhoods, allegedly. That's what she said. So please pay attention. All right, at the end of the day, this is all crazy as far as I'm concerned. But we're supposed to think Kabami's going to get in here and clean up something and do something for us. At the end of the day, she's going to do the same stuff that Biden's been doing. And all of the things she's claimed that she's going to do, she could have already been doing it. She's had 4 years. Okay, but let's talk about this new virus that I just heard of. Maybe you all have heard about it before, but I never have. And it's called the EEE virus, okay? A New Hampshire man has died from Eastern equine encephalitis, or it's known as EEE, a rare but deadly virus spread by mosquitoes, okay, according to the state health department. And this was announced on Tuesday. So I'm going to go to this news report so you all can see this, because, honey, I told you all. Y'all remember I told you all just days ago, maybe last week sometimes. One's in the chat if you all remember me telling you that now that it's close to election time, there's likely going to be another pandemic or some strange virus or something popping up. Y'all remember me telling y'all that? One's in the chat if you remember, okay? One's in the chat if you remember me saying that I said it just last week or the week before. And here we go. Okay, y'all are putting ones. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. This is all nefarious, honey. Okay, we are in for the time of our lives, beloveds, and I don't mean in a fun way. Okay, we should all be concerned, is all I'm saying.
This morning, communities are on alert during peak mosquito season with new concerns that the insects may be carrying deadly diseases.
They can get out of control and do a lot of damage.
This year, mosquitoes have been linked to 2 dangerous illnesses, West Nile virus and Eastern equine encephalitis, or EEE, a rare but very serious virus that can cause severe swelling of the brain. In New Hampshire, a man who was bitten by a mosquito later died of EEE, identified by his family as 41-year-old Stephen Perry. It's New Hampshire's first human case of the virus in a decade. Cases have also popped up in Wisconsin, Vermont, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. where spraying began Tuesday night.
Our kids are, they get bit a lot, so I wouldn't want them to get anything like that. I'm glad that they're trying to mitigate it.
Experts say the EEE virus is very rare, but troubling.
It's an infection that no one ever wants to get. And we can prevent it by avoiding getting bitten by mosquitoes.
Concerns are also growing about West Nile virus, which has been found in 33 states as mosquito numbers rise in the late summer.
This year has been horrible.
But experts say Americans can still enjoy the upcoming holiday weekend with precautions.
Mosquitoes are predominantly out very early in the morning or in dusk, in the evening. So that's the time where you want to be more cautious.
And experts say there is more you can do, including wearing long sleeves and pants, keeping screens in open windows, removing that standing water around your property, and of course, applying that insect repellent.
Okay, don't say I didn't tell you, folks. Don't say I didn't tell you. But if you thought that was something, listen to this. With pandemic memories fresh, town's voluntary curfew to prevent spread of lethal mosquito-borne virus draws ire. So they want these people to have a curfew. Please pay attention. And the people are complaining about it, saying, oh, please don't do this to our children and all this craziness. Hold on, beloveds. Hold on. Here we go. Now, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this report. Because now they already have a curfew, starting in some places. Pay attention. Lockdowns, anyone?
Of a reason for concern as mosquitoes carrying a potentially deadly virus called Eastern Equine Encephalitis, or EEE, infected a resident who is now fighting for his life.
We don't want to see another human case of EEE this year.
The rare but dangerous disease can cause swelling in the brain. There's no treatment and anyone can get infected. The death rate is as high as 30%.
Even if you do survive, usually there are long-term significant health impacts, neurological impacts.
Oxford has been declared a critical risk for EEE, prompting health department officials to recommend a 6 p.m. curfew for outdoor activities, including club sports.
These are recommendations. They're not hard and stop requirements.
We are definitely nervous about it.
Sarah Fournier is also worried her children's sports seasons, football and cheer, could be jeopardized. But they're taking precautions by wearing mosquito repellent and long sleeve tops.
We can't stop life. They need to get out there. They need to play. This is their time to be social with their friends and be a part of a team.
Now, EEE symptoms usually begin between 4 to 10 days after being bitten by an infected mosquito, according to the CDC. Now, some of those symptoms can include fever, headache, and seizures. Nora?
This is such an interesting story. Tiffany Chan, thank you so much for bringing it.
Okay, this all sounds absolutely nefarious, okay? Seizures, brain swelling, long-term neurological disorders. This is all crazy. What? Do you all hear this? At the end of the day, I'm going to say one thing. Lucky for me, mosquitoes do not bite me, okay? I have not ever been bitten by a mosquito in my life. And I saw a report that they did once saying that mosquitoes don't bite certain people because of your blood or something. So honey, they could leave the queen alone. It's all crazy. Durana said, I'm not even going to read that, but let me continue. Now, so like I said, a whole bunch of stuff going on, okay? None of it's good as far as I'm concerned. And also, there's a new Stupid 19 venom coming out. Let's get into it. There's a new one coming out. Please pay attention. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Y'all get ready for it. It's all going down.
Now to the FDA approving updated COVID vaccines just as kids are heading back to school. Eva Pilgrim is here now with what you need to know about these new shots. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning again, Rebecca. Updated COVID vaccines will soon be at a pharmacy or doctor's office near you. The FDA giving the green light for updated vaccines that are designed to better protect against the current variants that are circulating. These are mRNA vaccines, and manufacturers telling ABC News they expect the vaccines will be available in the coming week. The updated vaccines coming as kids are returning to the classroom and those fall and winter viruses start to spread. The vaccines are approved for use for anyone over 6 months old. Medical professionals strongly encouraging anyone high risk due to age or underlying conditions to get the vaccine. And we've seen a lot of COVID going around this summer. So if you've had it recently and you want the vaccine, the CDC saying you may want to wait 3 months after COVID to get the updated vaccine, guys.
Good advice. Okay, Eva, thanks very much.
Y'all heard that, right? It's just all looking real bad. That's all I'm saying. Look at Christopher. Queen Sam said, please pay attention. Mr. Elevation. Just Anticipate said, no thanks. Oh my goodness. Okay. All hell no said, get the F out of here. Not doing, never did it. I'm sorry, but this is all crazy. I just want you all to pay attention. And then they're talking about wearing long sleeves. Who wants to wear long sleeves? I mean, outside, this is all crazy. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, there's your lifelines. Y'all do with it what you will. I'm not going to say too much because y'all know how ScrewTube is, honey. Please pay attention. Just thought you might want to know. All right. So with that all being said, let's have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll get into the rest of the broadcast so I can have my commemoration for Black August. All right. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so be sure to stop by Etsy and get your 12 Tribes, okay, from Lisa Crafts and also Walmart.com. All right, with that all been said, everyone please give this video a like and a share. Thank you, beloveds. Okay, now let's get into it. All right. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, what is Black August? Black August is a month-long commemoration that honors Black freedom fighters, political prisoners, and the Black liberation movement. Okay, it also recognizes the history of Black resistance to systemic oppression and anti-Black states violence. So let's talk about it. And by the way, this holiday started in California prisons back in the 1970s by the Black guerrilla family at San Quentin State Prison. Those of you who've been following, I'm sure you already know that because I've talked about this pretty much every year in August. And also, before we actually get into it, let's talk about some other important things that have happened during the month of August as it pertains to our people. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. So for one, it was late August of 1619 when the first slave ships arrived. And then August of 1833, the Slavery Abolition Act, which abolished slavery in most British colonies, okay, leading to over 800,000 slaves being freed. And then, of course, they should never have been enslaved in the first place. But then August the 25th of 1955, Emmett Till was brutally murdered and tortured. August the 28th of 1963, Dr. King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech. August the 28th of 2008, former President Barack Obama accepted the Democratic nomination. And also Hurricane Katrina, that was in August the 29th of 2005. Then August the 9th of 2014, let's not forget, down there in Ferguson, Mike Brown was murdered by the no good officer, Darren Smith, while he had his hands up and was on his knees. And then Colin Kaepernick did his first peaceful protest August the 26th of 2016. And that's when he didn't kneel, but he sat. That was the first time. That one didn't get as much attention as when he started kneeling. And then August the 28th of 2020, Chadwick Boseman died. Chadwick Boseman played Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and also Black Panther. August the 5th of 2023, the Montgomery Brawl. I know y'all remember that one. Okay, so those are just a few things that happened, significant events that happened during Black August, or the month of August. T of y'all said, where is Colin Kaepernick at? Well, I don't know where he is specifically, but he has been offered a coaching job. I reported that to you about a week or so ago. Okay. And so with that all being said, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. So let's be sure to get those likes up. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple of overlays on the screen while I'm doing this report. Some of them will be some of the political prisoners that I'm in fact talking about, namely George Jackson. Now, this is George Jackson, one of the very people that Black August was started to commemorate. So originally, it started in the 1970s by California prisoners. Okay, Black August is a way to honor the lives and deaths of Black political prisoners killed by the state, and to bring awareness to prison conditions and to honor the radical tradition of Black resistance against anti-Black state violence and systemic oppression. Now, on August the 21st of 1971, Black Panther George Jackson was assassinated by a prison guard in San Quentin, California. The details surrounding Jackson's death remain disputed. A year prior, in August of 1970, the younger brother of George, Jonathan Peter Jackson, died at 17 from gunshot wounds following what some at the time called the Courthouse Slave Rebellion, where Jonathan, along with 3 others, entered the Marion County Courthouse with guns, taking hostage and eventually being involved in a shootout. Now, this is what happened when George Jackson's brother, only 17 years old at the time, attempted to free him. And you all may recognize some of these pictures from my intro when my song is playing, because this is where I have a lot of Black revolutionaries and political prisoners in the video clips. So there's George's brother right there leading the pack, gun in hand. Only 17 years old. Now, with that all been said, let me continue. And so anyway, they entered the courthouse where Jonathan, along with 3 others, entered the Marion County Courthouse with guns, taking hostages, and eventually being involved in a shootout. The death of George Jackson, who had started the San Quentin prison chapter of the Black Panther Party, was also the author of 2 books along with his brother Jonathan, and he left a lasting mark on the Black liberation movement and continues to empower and inspire those who know their stories. Now, August is a significant time for Black people for a number of reasons, and I just told you a myriad of them. All of those different dates that I gave you, those are some of the main reasons. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now let's talk a bit more about this rebellion, is what they call it, the Marion County Courthouse Rebellion. So 17-year-old Jonathan Jackson busted into the Marion County Courthouse with a gun on August the 7th of 1970. During his brother's murder, this was during his brother's murder trial, and held the presiding judge, Harold Haley, hostage. The desperate move was an attempt to force the release of George Jackson, a Black Panther Party activist and Jonathan's older brother, from Soledad Prison. On that day, Jonathan also freed 3 imprisoned people, William Christmas, James McLean, and Ruchell McGee, who helped Jonathan bring the judge, assistant district attorney, and 3 jurors to an awaiting van. As the van attempted to exit the lot, courthouse security shot up the moving vehicle, killing Jonathan Jackson, Christmas, and McLean, as well as Judge Haley. So the judge who was captured also lost his life. Now, activist Angela Davis was also charged and later acquitted of kidnapping and murder. You see, they felt like Angela Davis had something to do with it. They'd accused her of having helped by supplying guns when all of this went down. So she was accused of assisting in the rebellion at the courthouse by the purchase of a gun from a pawn shop and her close affiliation with Jonathan and George Jackson. The rebellion came months after increased racial violence on Black imprisoned folks within Soledad from both prison guards and white supremacist prison gangs. Soledad brothers, which included George Jackson, were known for killing a white prison guard after 3 Black imprisoned people were shot dead by another prison guard. Here are the Soledad brothers. As you can see, George Jackson is the one on the far right, or my right, your left. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. George Jackson also formed the Black Guerrilla Party while at Soledad and released Soledad Brother, a book filled with letters he wrote between 1964 and 1970, detailing his political ideology as a Black revolutionary, as well as Blood in My Eye. That's another book that he wrote that's very good. If you hadn't read it, you should if you're a revolutionary. Okay, and these both became bestsellers. So George Jackson was killed on August the 21st of 1971 in an attempted prison escape. Now, the 2007 film Black August is a retelling of the last 14 months of Jackson's life. Sorry, I was on mute and didn't even realize it. Okay, so now I'm going to give you some information on a person that is a political prisoner who was kept in solitary confinement for over 30 years. Someone that I have written letters to try to get, at least one of the people that I have written letters for to try to help them get parole. And I know you see this picture. This is James Harvey, aka Abdul Alukbala Shakur. He was up for parole last in 2019. And of course, it was denied. We pretty much figured that it was going to be denied because actually when they had the prison psychologist come to evaluate him, and this was a Black man, he basically told him that he was not ever getting out of there. And I want you to pay attention. But one thing I want to say also is I forgot to tell you all this, and this is very important. For anyone wondering why George Jackson went to prison in the first place, George Jackson went to prison. Now, you all listen to this. The criminal justice is so low down and nefarious as it pertains to Black people. George Jackson actually went to prison for stealing $70 from a gas station. Okay? Stealing $70 from a gas station. That's not like he went in there guns blazing and robbed it. I want you to pay attention. He stole $70 from a gas station. Now, here's the thing. At the end of the day, of course, him stealing was wrong, but to give someone a prison sentence, this is what the judge sentenced him to for stealing $70. The judge gave him 1 year to life. Okay? 1 year to life. I want you all to pay attention. He gave him 1 year to life in prison for stealing $70. All right? $70 is a misdemeanor. But the reason, yes, it's petty theft, Swift, exactly. So he gave him 1 year to life, and the judge claimed with his racist self, he claimed that the reason he did so or gave him such a sentence was to try to get him to change or, think about what he had done while he was in prison. And possibly become a better person. How does one become a better person with that type of sentence? Why, if someone had done something like that, I mean, a year in prison or 30 to 90 days in jail, I'm just saying, he had to give him 1 year to life. How does that even make sense? They don't even give PDF files that kind of sentence. They'll give them probation. I just want you all to pay attention. And then they wonder why these people were so angry. Now, I want you to listen to this letter because this is a letter from Shakur. This was written May the 23rd of 2017. And this is very sad. And I really hate to read it because then I have to remember all of these things that he's told me. Okay, so 90 days of darkness, no running water, naked, no blankets. So over 30 years ago, I was placed in the dungeon cell in the infamous adjustment center in San Quentin State Prison. Over 90 days of complete darkness, no running water, but naked, no mattress, blankets, and sheets, with cold air blowing from the vent. Not to mention the constant company of roaches and rats. This was both my introduction and initiation into the sarcophagus vortex of solitary confinement and isolation. 32 years fighting the demons conjured up by a tormented mind, contorting within the confines of a man-made hell, a concrete hell that is designed to suffocate the spirit and paralyze the mind. 25 of those 32 years were spent in the notorious Pelican Bay State Prison, where it is easy to forget what the sun looks and feels like. Even the moon and stars become distant memories. One even forgets what it feels like to walk on dirt and grass, let alone touch it with your hands. After so many years of sensory deprivation, it becomes easy to make friends with the critters that stalk our concrete coffins in search of their own humanity in an artificial world not of their making. Now, I want you all to pay attention because Shakur was kept in solitary confinement, okay, for over 30 years. Not allowed to have interactions with other prisoners, not allowed to go outside at all, not seeing the light of day. This can make some people go crazy and lose their mind. This can make some people have thoughts of taking themselves out. Just, can you imagine being in a cold, dark, drab cell for 30 years? Never seeing the light of day. This is inhumane. This is absolutely crazy. On October the 20th of 2015, I was released from solitary confinement into general population. Initially, I was a little startled by many of the brothers actually knew of me. Many of them read many of my writings. Some of them, the much older prisoners, were aware of my story. I spent the longest time in the dungeon cells, with the exception of George Jackson and Hugo Pennell, and that I was the most censored prisoner. I was the most censored prisoner in the CDCR. But truthfully, this collective recognition and accolades, the accolades fell upon a numbed consciousness, impeding my capacity to fully appreciate the respect and love that was being displayed. People as an imprisoned activist, my perspective on our release from solitary confinement or isolation is much different than the vast majority of the other prisoners released. Before there was a Pelican Bay State Prison, hunger strikes, and the Shakur settlement, I was very active in the struggle. Both my placement and retention in solitary was political. Initially, I wanted to use this blog as a medium to articulate the diabolical anatomy of torture. But I asked myself, how can I or we articulate the evils of torture, solitary confinement in a post 9/11 society, a society that has been oriented to accept torture as a necessary evil in the war against terrorism? Because of this, I decided to convey a message that I hope will resonate with all who read this. And that message is live for humanity, die for humanity. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. These are some other political prisoners. We know that Dr. Matulu Shakur was released sometime last year, I believe it was. He's now passed away. So though I believe every prisoner that served decades in solitary confinement is entitled to enjoy whatever pleasures that was unjustly deprived from them, as a new African activist and political prisoner, the only deprived pleasures that I seek are not for myself, but for all poor and oppressed people, and that is freedom, justice, and equality. Truthfully, I am a little disappointed, but a number of prisoners, not the new African prisoner activist, but a number of prisoners have gotten out here and returned to the same self-destructive behaviors, especially the use of drugs and alcohol. Our family, our attorney team, and all the supporters across the country did not sacrifice their time, energy, resources, and sanity so that we can get out here and engage in these activities that only empower the prison industrial slave complex with the propaganda to justify locking us back up. We owe it to our family and supporters to be living examples of humanity's imprisoned soldiers. People, our struggle continues. Last year, the city of Chicago had 763 homicides. Our communities are crying out for help, and we can resolve this crisis without depending on the prison industrial slave complex. People, your continued support is imperative to our success. I recall when I was asked, how did you survive 32 years in the hole or solitary confinement? My life is dedicated to helping the oppressed. It does not belong to me. It belongs to the people. I suffer so they won't have to suffer. My 32 years of torture is a testament to my love for humanity, and without sacrifice, there is no humanity. Let the children of the world be our motivation. I now bid you peace and unconditional love. Your beloved brother, Abdul Alugbala Shakur, aka James Harvey. So as you can see, these are the wicked, nefarious things that they have done and continue to do to our people. It is absolutely animalistic, okay, for anyone to keep a human being confined in a cage, a cell, for 32 years. All right? No running water for 90 days. No blankets, no sheets, no mattress, no nothing, just a concrete floor for 90 days with cold wind blowing through a vents. And when you ask for anything to cover yourself, when you ask for just a simple, token of kindness, you get ridiculed, laughed at, mocked, beaten, all sorts of nefarious things. These are what they did. And they wonder why people that are Black revolutionaries are so militant and so against this system because it is a system of oppression. It is a system of wanton supremacy. And this, in fact, is some people's religion. Okay? And it's never going to change. It is never going to change. And that is why it is so sickening when I see people like Sexy Red, Sukiana, out here doing all of these disparaging things, making fools of themselves, making a mockery of Black women, when we have Black women who back in the day were real revolutionaries who stood beside Black men and fought the good fight. And then you have just idiots out here now making fools of themselves. You have 12 and 13-year-olds carjacking people, out here robbing people. Okay, the parents are nowhere to be found, letting their kids just run amok and all sorts of nefariousness. And it's really sad because these people didn't fight and they didn't go through all the things they've gone through for us to just be out here acting crazy, running amok and acting like fools and making them have excuses to lock us up, to harass us and just be all in through our neighborhoods, accusing our children and doing all kinds of crazy things. They didn't go through all of that, just for this to happen. But sadly, some of our people are never going to learn. Some of our people are just going to stay stuck on stupid, and they don't care. They have no regard for life, safety, not even their own. They don't care about shooting up the block. They don't care about being in drive-bys. They don't care about robbing and jacking the elderly. They don't care about any of it. And some of the parents that raise these thugs want to try to condone their nefariousness and make excuses. That's what they do. That's what they do. So anyway, with that all been said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Okay, Juju B said, real political prisoners, Miss Wig. Juju, exactly. And Juju, I'm glad you brought that up. Because here's the thing. You see, that is why I went in so hard on Wig when I exposed her. Because how dare her, with her little lying, thieving, fraudulent self, to ever act as though she were half of the person that they are. These are real political prisoners. These are real revolutionaries. These are real pro-Black people who fought for their people, okay, and suffered the consequences for doing so. And then she wants to sit up here and lie and say that her mortgage fraud, bank fraud, and wire fraud charges were all fabricated by the FBI because she was a revolutionary, because she was a political prisoner. Like, girl, sit down somewhere, okay? Sit down somewhere. That's why I had to drop those receipts, because don't play. All right, don't play when there's real people who are still stuck behind prison walls and likely will never get out. They'll die in there. And all because they chose to fight for their people and they fought against a system of oppression. Okay, please pay attention. With that all being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. Always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And also, by the way, I will be live on the backup channel this evening at 6:15 p.m. So hopefully I will see you all then. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks.
Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got